Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Everyday English Channel. I am Sarah, and oh my goodness, I am so incredibly thrilled that you clicked on this video today. Like, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart. Because today's topic, it is one that confuses even intermediate and advanced learners. One that causes real mistakes in real conversations every single day.
And I am Jack, and Sarah is right. Today we are diving deep into two small words that carry enormous power in English. Could have. This little phrase, this tiny combination, it unlocks past possibilities, regrets, criticisms, and so much more. And most learners, they either avoid it completely or they use it in ways that sound slightly off to native speakers.
Slightly off and sometimes completely wrong, honestly. And look, we are not saying this to discourage you, not at all. We are saying it because you deserve to use English with precision and confidence, because could have is everywhere in natural English conversation. And once you truly master it, your English jumps to an entirely new level.
An entirely new level completely. And here's the exciting part. Could have is not as complicated as it feels. Once you understand the logic behind it, once you see the patterns clearly, it becomes something you use naturally, automatically, without even thinking. That is our goal for you today.
That is exactly our goal. But before we go any further, please, please, please hit that subscribe button right now. We pour so much love into every single lesson we create for this channel. Every explanation, every example, every moment of this video. Subscribing is how you make sure you never miss a lesson that could change your English forever. And honestly, it means the world to us. It truly, deeply does.
It truly does, sincerely. We are building something real here on Everyday English Channel, a family of learners who are serious, who are committed, who are done with surface-level understanding and want deep, lasting fluency. If that is you, and I genuinely believe it is, then subscribe right now. You belong here with us.
You belong here completely. And please stay until the very end of today's lesson, because we are going to cover every important use of could have, with real examples, common mistakes, and the kind of honest explanations your textbook never gave you. You do not want to miss a single part.
Let us start at the very beginning. What is could have and why does it exist? Could is the past form of can. But here's where English gets interesting and where many learners get confused. Could doesn't only refer to the past, it also expresses possibility, suggestion, and hypothetical thinking. And when you attach have plus a past participle after it, when you say could have done, or could have been, or could have seen, you move into a very specific territory. You are now talking about the past from a distance. You're looking back at something that was possible but didn't happen, or something you're imagining, or something you are criticizing, or something you are offering as an alternative.
An alternative from the past. Now, let's make the structure absolutely clear, because the grammar here is simple once you see it written out. The structure is this: could plus have plus past participle. So, could have gone, could have eaten, could have said, could have been, could have known. The past participle is the third form of the verb: gone, eaten, said, been, known. This structure never changes. Could have, and then always the past participle. Never the base verb, never the infinitive. Always the past participle.
Always the past participle completely. And in spoken English, here's something very important. Native speakers almost never say could have in full. They contract it. They say could have. It sounds almost like could of, which is actually a very common spelling mistake that even native speakers make in writing. But remember, it's always could have in writing, never could of. Could of is always wrong in writing, even though it sounds that way in speech.
Sounds like could of, but written as could have. Always. Keep that in mind every time you write it. Now, let's talk about what could have actually means in real life, because this is where it gets rich and interesting. Could have has several distinct uses, and each one expresses something slightly different. We are going to walk through each one carefully, with plenty of examples so the meaning truly lands for you.
The first and fundamental use of could have is to talk about something that was possible in the past but didn't actually happen. Think about this. You're looking back at a moment in the past. At that moment, something was possible. You had the ability or the opportunity or the circumstances were right, but it didn't happen. Either you chose not to do it, or something prevented it, or it simply did not occur. In that situation, you use could have.
Let's hear some examples. I could have taken a taxi, but I decided to walk. Taking a taxi was possible. The option existed, but I didn't take it. I chose something else. She could have studied medicine, but she chose art instead. Studying medicine was within her reach. It was a real possibility, but she went a different direction. We could have arrived earlier if we had left on time. Arriving earlier was possible. The conditions for it existed, but something prevented it. We didn't leave on time. Did you notice something in that last example? We could have arrived earlier if we had left on time. That's a conditional sentence, a hypothetical. Could have connects beautifully with if clauses to express past conditionals. These are sometimes called third conditionals. They describe situations in the past that didn't happen, and they imagine the result if they had happened differently.
If I had studied harder, I could have passed the exam. I didn't study hard enough. I didn't pass, but the possibility existed in theory. If she had called me, I could have helped her. She didn't call, I didn't help, but I was available. I had the ability.
These sentences carry a certain weight, don't they? A certain feeling of looking back, of imagining alternative paths. That feeling is built directly into the grammar of could have. The structure itself creates that emotional texture of possibility that did not become reality.
Now we arrive at one of the most emotionally powerful uses of could have, expressing regret. Regret is looking back at the past and wishing something had been different, wishing you had made a different choice, wishing circumstances had allowed something that they did not allow. Could have captures this feeling with precision.
Listen to these sentences and pay attention to the emotional weight in each one. I could have spent more time with my grandmother before she passed away. This person didn't spend that time, and now they wish they had. That's regret, pure and simple, and could have carries it perfectly. He could have apologized, but he was too proud. The ability and opportunity to apologize were there. He chose not to, and perhaps now there's a sense that he should have. We could have saved so much money if we had planned better. The possibility of saving money existed. Better planning would have made it happen, but it didn't. And now there's a feeling of loss around that missed opportunity.
Notice how could have in these regret sentences often implies a slight criticism either of yourself or of someone else. He could have apologized. There's a judgment there. He had the ability, he had the chance, he didn't use it. That judgment is embedded in the phrase.
Could have is one of the most natural ways to criticize someone, or yourself, for not doing something they had the ability to do. When you say, you could have told me, you are not just making an observation, you are expressing frustration. You are saying, you had the ability, you had the information, the opportunity was there, and you chose not to use it, and I am not happy about that.
This use comes up constantly in natural conversation. Let us hear it in real examples. You could have warned me about the traffic. Now we're late. You had the information. You could have shared it. You did not, and that caused a problem. She could have at least sent a message to say she was not coming. Sending a message was easy. It required minimal effort. She did not do it, and that was inconsiderate. They could have handled that situation much better. Better handling was within their capabilities. They fell short of what was possible, and this sentence makes that clear.
This critical use of could have often appears with words like at least to soften it slightly, or with strong emphasis to make the frustration even clearer in speech. You could have told me. In spoken English, the stress on could signals the criticism strongly. Native speakers use this stress naturally without thinking about it. As you practice could have, start paying attention to how stress shifts the meaning and the emotional weight.
Sometimes could have is used not to criticize, not to express regret, but simply to suggest that there was another way something could have been done. A gentler, more neutral use, offering a past alternative. You could have used the back entrance. It would have been faster. This is not a criticism exactly. It's more of a helpful observation after the fact. By the way, next time, consider this kind of message. We could have ordered pizza instead of cooking. It would have been less stressful. Again, this is reflecting on a past moment and imagining an easier path. It's more like thinking out loud than criticizing.
The tone here is softer than the critical use, and in real conversations, tone of voice does a lot of work to signal which meaning is intended. The same words, "you could have done this differently," can sound like a harsh criticism or a gentle suggestion, depending entirely on how they are spoken. This is one of the reasons listening to real, natural English is so important. You need to hear how these phrases land in actual human interaction, not just read them in a textbook.
Here is a use that surprises many learners. Could have can also express speculation, when you're not sure what happened in the past and you're considering possibilities. She looked exhausted. She could have been working all night. You don't know for certain, but it's a possibility based on the evidence you can see. I can't find my keys. I could have left them at the office. You're not sure, but this is one possible explanation you're considering. That noise, it could have been a cat outside. Again, uncertainty, a possible explanation. You're not asserting fact, you're exploring a possibility.
This speculative use is slightly different from the others because it's not about something that definitely didn't happen, it's about something you are genuinely unsure about. You're using could have to express that this past event is possible. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. You can't be certain. Compare these two sentences. I could have left my keys at the office. I genuinely don't know. This is speculation. I could have left on time, but I chose to stay. I know I did not leave on time. This is unrealized possibility.
The difference lies in certainty. In the speculative use, you genuinely don't know the outcome. In the unrealized possibility use, you know the outcome. It didn't happen, and you're imagining the alternative. This is a subtle but important distinction, and native speakers navigate it automatically. Through exposure and practice, you will too.
Now let's talk about mistakes, because understanding the theory is one thing, but knowing where learners actually go wrong helps you avoid those same traps.
Mistake number 1. Using could have when you mean was able to for a single completed action. Here's a rule that catches many learners off guard. When you're talking about a specific past moment where someone actually succeeded in doing something, where the ability was used and the action was completed, you don't use could. You use was able to or managed to. Listen to this. Wrong, the firefighter could save the child from the building. This sounds like it never happened, like it was just a possibility. Correct, the firefighter was able to save the child from the building. This confirms it happened. The action was completed successfully.
But, and this is important, for general ability in the past, could works perfectly fine. When I was young, I could run very fast. General ability, not one specific moment. She could speak 3 languages by the time she was 12. General ability she possessed. So could expresses general past ability beautifully, but for a specific completed action where success is confirmed, use was able to or managed to. This rule applies to could have in negative form too. He couldn't have done it alone, but the positive, specific completed action is where learners most often make the mistake.
Mistake number 2. Confusing could have with should have and would have. These 3, could have, should have, would have, are related, but they express different things. Mixing them up creates meaning errors, not just grammar errors. Should have expresses obligation or the right thing to do. It's stronger than could have in terms of judgment. You should have told me. It was your obligation. It was the right thing to do. You could have told me. You had the ability and opportunity. You did not use it. Should have sounds more morally charged. Could have sounds more about missed ability or opportunity.
And would have expresses a guaranteed result in a hypothetical situation. If you had asked me, I would have helped you. In that hypothetical world, helping was certain, guaranteed. If you had asked me, I could have helped you. In that hypothetical world, helping was possible, within reach, but not guaranteed. Would have equals this definitely would have happened. Could have equals this possibly could have happened, or I had the ability for it to happen.
Mistake number 3. Forgetting the past participle. This is a pure grammar error, but extremely common, especially in speech when learners are moving quickly. Wrong. I could have go, no past participle. Wrong. I could have went, wrong form of the verb. Went is simple past, not past participle. Correct. I could have gone, past participle of go. Wrong. She could have ate. Ate is simple past. Correct. She could have eaten, past participle of eat.
Irregular past participles trip people up constantly. Gone, eaten, spoken, written, seen, done, been, known, taken, given. These are the forms that come after could have. If you are unsure of a verb's past participle, look it up and practice it. Do not guess randomly and hope for the best.
Mistake number 4. Writing could of instead of could have. We mentioned this earlier, but it deserves its own space because it is so common. In natural spoken English, could have contracts to could have, and this sounds identical to could of to many ears. But could of makes no grammatical sense. There is no version of English where of follows could to express past possibility. It is always have, always. When you write, in emails, in essays, in messages, always write could have, never could of.
Now let us talk about the negative form, because couldn't have has its own important meanings. Couldn't have, or could not have in full, expresses that something was impossible in the past. The ability or opportunity simply did not exist. She couldn't have done it. She was in another city at the time. It was impossible. The evidence eliminates the possibility. We couldn't have finished the project without your help. Finishing without the help was not possible. The help was necessary.
Couldn't have is also used to express strong certainty or disbelief about something. He couldn't have said that. He is too kind a person. You are rejecting the possibility. You find it impossible to believe based on what you know. This couldn't have been easy for her. You are acknowledging the difficulty. You are expressing empathy. There is no way this was simple.
And in very positive contexts, couldn't have expresses something was so perfect that nothing better was possible. I couldn't have asked for a better day. It was perfect. A better day was not even possible. You couldn't have chosen a more beautiful place. The choice was ideal. Nothing better existed. These are warm, genuine expressions of appreciation and satisfaction, and they come up constantly in real English conversation. So learn them as whole phrases, as living chunks of language, not just as grammar structures on a page.
Let us bring all of this together with some realistic dialogue, real back-and-forth conversation where could have appears naturally, the way it actually does in everyday English. Conversation 1. A. I heard you missed the flight. B. Yes, it was awful. We could have made it if the traffic had not been so bad. A. You should have left earlier, honestly. B. I know. I could have left an hour before. I just did not think it would take that long. A. Well, it could have been worse. At least you got on the next flight. B. True, it could have been a much bigger disaster.
Did you hear how naturally could have moved through that conversation? Unrealized possibility, regret, gentle criticism, speculating on worse outcomes, all in one short exchange. That's how this phrase lives in real English, fluidly, naturally, doing different jobs in different sentences.
Conversation 2. A. The presentation did not go well. B. What happened? A. I forgot half of what I wanted to say. I was so nervous. B. Oh no, you could have used notes, you know. A. I know. I could have prepared so much better. I had 2 weeks. B. Do not be too hard on yourself. You couldn't have predicted how nervous you would feel. A. I guess not, but I really could have practiced more out loud. That would have helped. B. Well, now you know for next time.
Beautiful. Notice how the conversation flows. Suggestions about what could have been done differently, self-criticism expressed through could have, and then couldn't have used to offer compassion. You couldn't have predicted your own nerves. That's empathy expressed through grammar, and it lands naturally because the speaker chose the right structure for the right emotional job.
Understanding could have is step 1. Making it natural and automatic is the real goal. So let us talk about how to practice it in a way that actually works.
First, use your own life as material. Think about yesterday. Think about last week. Decisions you made, opportunities you took or didn't take, moments that went differently than expected. Now, narrate them to yourself using could have. I could have gone to the gym this morning, but I slept in. I could have finished that email last night. I'm going to regret this. That conversation could have gone better if I had listened more carefully. Your own life is endless material. Use it. Make could have personal.
Second, shadow real English content where could have appears. Films and series are full of it, especially in dramatic moments, arguments, and conversations about the past. When you hear could have, pause. Repeat the sentence out loud, match the speaker's tone and rhythm, feel the meaning in your mouth, not just your mind.
Third, write reflective journal entries in English. At the end of each day, write 3 could have sentences about your day, things you could have done differently, opportunities you could have taken, moments that could have gone another way. Over weeks, this becomes a powerful practice that builds both your writing and your thinking in English.
Fourth, talk to conversation partners and deliberately use could have when you discuss past events. Don't avoid it because it feels uncertain. Use it on purpose. Make mistakes on purpose. Get corrected, adjust. This is how it moves from studied grammar into living language.
Let's bring all of this together. Here's what you need to hold on to from today. Could have plus the past participle. This is the structure. Always, no exceptions. It expresses unrealized past possibility, something that was possible but did not happen. It expresses regret, looking back at what might have been. It expresses criticism, pointing out unused ability or missed opportunity. It offers past alternatives, gentler suggestions about different paths. And it expresses speculation, considering what might have happened when you're not certain.
Couldn't have expresses past impossibility, strong disbelief, or, in positive contexts, something so perfect that nothing better was possible.
Avoid writing could of. Always write could have. Use was able to or managed to for specific completed past actions, not could. And know the difference between could have, should have, and would have. They are related, but they carry different emotional and logical weight.
And most importantly, start using it today, in your thinking, in your writing, in your speaking. Language only becomes yours through use. Could have is waiting for you to make it your own.
It is waiting completely. You are not behind, you are not too advanced or not enough advanced for this. Wherever you are in your English journey, could have belongs in your toolkit starting right now, today, not after more studying, not after more preparation, now.
Now, truly. And we believe completely, genuinely, without a single doubt that you can master this. We have seen learners at every level absorb structures like this and start using them naturally within days of focused practice. You can do exactly the same.
You absolutely can. So here's what we need from you right now. First, smash that like button if this lesson gave you something real, if it made could have clearer, more logical, more yours. Your like helps other learners find this video. You're helping someone you'll never meet just by pressing that button, and that matters more than you know.
It matters so deeply. Second, subscribe to Everyday English channel right now if you haven't already, please. We're not just saying this as a formality. We make these lessons because we genuinely believe that every single person who wants to speak English fluently and confidently deserves honest, deep, practical guidance. Subscribing means you never miss a lesson, and every lesson we make is one more step toward the English speaker you are becoming.
The English speaker you're already becoming. We're so honored, truly honored, that you chose to spend your time with us today. Every view, every comment, every learner who grows because of something we explained, that's why this channel exists. You're not just a viewer, you're the whole reason we do this.
The whole reason, completely. And third, leave a comment below right now. Tell us which use of could have was new to you today. Which one surprised you? Which one do you think you'll use